And at the last second, he pops in there. Terry, how are you this morning on this hump day?
I'm doing good on hump day.
Hump day. Yes, indeed. It is Wednesday, coming off a Tuesday, as they always do, right before Thursday. Today should be fun. It's Gulfstream Park. Yeah, when I was first going through the card, I was a little bit worried, Terry, because I just was like, man, today feels like it's going to be a chalky day.
Yeah.
And then in the second half of the card, I felt like things opened up a little bit more. So we'll see if that's indeed how it plays out. 8 races down in Miami. Should be a fun day. Yesterday, kind of a off and on day at Parks. A little bit of good, a little bit of bad. Some nice winners.
Yep.
And then a couple of long shots that we missed. And one, I don't know how I missed on one, but in any case, it was an okay day overall.
Yeah.
It was a nice evening, though, when we spoke with our good friend of the show, Terry T.D. Houghton. And if you haven't caught that show, you can head on over to our Horse Racing Radar TV station over on YouTube, or you can catch it on the we always post everything over on horseracingtoday.net when we're done. And I know you were watching last night because coincidentally where I paused, and it is a coincidence, Terry Hayes says, hey, Terry Houghton. Great
That's
name,
right.
but why don't you come out this way to run at Golden Gate?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him come out here. I always liked him as a jockey. He really tries hard and does a good job. And he does a good interview, to tell you the truth. He's had a lot of injuries, as we know. So
Yeah, you know what's funny is that just on a well, from personal experience, we got a little comment in there that jockeys don't like to talk about their injuries, but
Right.
it's part of, it's part of the game. Unfortunate. I mean, it's the unfortunate part of the game. Like I said last night, folks riding motorcycles, everybody I've known says at some point you're going to put the motorcycle down. Every jockey knows at some point they're going to fall off the horse, unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
Just like every person who works with a hammer knows at some day they're going to smash their thumb with that hammer, right?
That's right.
It's inevitable.
Absolutely.
But just from a personal experience, not from me, but from my grandmother, she used to have to go when we would go to like airports and stuff. She had both of her knees replaced, so she had
Yeah.
metal in her knees, and she would set off the like when we'd go to the airport, the alarm, right? When you
Right.
walk through the metal detector. So it just dawned on me. Wait a minute, he's got all this metal in him. My grandmother had all this metal in him. So I asked him about walking through the metal detectors at the airport, and he had a couple of funny stories in there about that.
He did. Yeah, it was fun. You should go listen to it if you didn't listen last night, because there's a lot of funny things in there.
Yeah, a lot of interesting, fun things to talk about, including
Yep.
where he might be next. And kind of like, well, Waldo, he could be anywhere, Terry.
That's right.
He's not quite sure where he's going to go after Mahoning closes in about a month.
Yep.
But we're not going to deal with Mahoning today, Terry. We're going to deal with Gulfstream Park, as I mentioned. So let's go ahead and get cracking where the weather should be nice. The racing should be good, and maybe in the beginning it might be a little bit chalky. We shall see. Well, I have no doubt the first race is going to be very chalky because there's a bunch of scratches in this race. It's only a 4-horse field. It's 5.5 furlongs on the all-weather. Get used to that for this optional claiming 1,600, because there's a lot of 5.5 furlong races on the all-weather track today. Just to get started on the profile of a winner of what we're going to talk about a lot, 48 races, 33 won by speed, 13 of which went wire to wire. Posts 1 through 7 have a similar win rate. If you get an 8 is a little bit of a bonus, but it doesn't matter here because there's only 4 horses. And reserve not attained is going to probably be 1 to 5.
Oh, absolutely. Because this horse, I mean, it just stands out so much above the rest of the horses that unless there's some kind of trouble in the race, there's no way this horse can lose.
Well, now he's going to lose. So I'm going to go change my pick in the contest right now because Terry just put the unofficial jinx on it. It's like the guy, if your favorite team is he needs a field goal to take a lead late or tie the game, and the announcer goes, he hasn't missed a field goal in 17 years.
And then boom, he misses.
Boom.
Yeah, I understand that.
But so you just did that, Terry.
I did. So reserve not attained. This horse has finished in the money 15 out of 16 career races, and he's won the last 3 races in a row. He has a highest last speed rating and the highest percent and the high percent winning jockey are Red Ortiz. Mm-hmm. Number 4, Bam Bam Blue, arrived from Laurel and promptly won his race at Gulfstream Park. He likes the distance, finishing in the money 80% of the time and winning 40% of those races. And then Henry's World has plenty of early speed, could steal the race, and has 2 bullet workouts in a row. And then number 1, the only one left, Big City Red.
Yeah, so for me, the number 6 horse, like you mentioned, Terry, it's funny the words that you picked because they're pretty similar to mine. Just when I did my rankings, it's like here, and everybody else was here, and then after all the scratches, it went like that even more. So
It did, yeah.
I don't know how this horse loses, but if anyone's going to beat him, I think it's probably going to be number 2. First off the claim, bullet work, jockey change, dropping from 54 to 24, has a lot of other reasons to improve there. So maybe Henry's World can get it done. Maybe Bam Bam Blue because of the alliteration with all the B's. That's about the only, because I actually had that one not even in my original picks. And then Big City Red just looks overmatched. So if I betting wise, I'd probably pass on this race. You might think about singling the 6 to put it on top if there's an opening pick 5 in that race.
Yeah.
Because, as they say, it's a, what do they say? It's a gimme or something like that, right? It's a freebie.
It's a freebie, yeah.
And there is an opening pick 5. You can also take the other route on that, and that's singling either the 4 or putting the 2 and the 4 in there and hoping one of them beats the 6, which would make for a nice pick 5 ticket. So from a pick 5 strategy, that's the way I would do it. I'd either single the 6 or leave off the 6.
Yeah, I do the same thing. A lot of times what I'll do is do all in that race except for the 6 and my pick 5, and then go from there, hoping that maybe something happens in the race and the 6 for some reason doesn't win it.
Well, yeah, I mean, in this case, in all was only 3 horses. So, and me, I would do the foolish thing, and I would just go with the 2 and the 4, and then the 1 would come in and win. But anyway, race number 2, and that I don't know how that works. I tell Terry, you give me a field of 13 and I can pick the winner. Give me a field of 4 and I'll pick the one that finishes 4th all the time. And I'll put 3 of them in my vertical bet. And the one I don't pick always wins. It's just Rich's law. Forget Murphy's law. Anyway, race number 2 is 1 mile on the turf, a little bit of a different distance and surface than we're going to talk about a lot today. Optional claiming $50,000. And if you want to know what the profile of a winner is, 1 mile on Gulfstream grass, 97 races, 57 won by horses that were first, second, or third at the quarter-mile marker, 27 of which went to the lead and never gave it up. You have mostly fair post positions, 1 through 7 play fair, and you get a little bit of a penalty if you wear the pink 8 or higher. What do you say?
Well, I like the number 1 on the rail. Wicked Fast was placed second versus similar in last race. Actually won the race, but then was disqualified and placed second. He has a high percentage winning jockey, and the trainer wins 30% of the time when bringing a beaten favorite back to race. He has the best turf speed among today's starters. Then number 3, King of Truth, ran second versus similar on an all-weather track in the last race, and he switches to a high percentage winning jockey, and his dam has produced 2 turf winners, and he has a bullet workout on March 11th of 36 breezing. And then number 2, Pamarana Truck is my 3rd pick. Won his last race at Gulfstream Park. The trainer in the last 14 days has been in the money 9 out of 12 times, winning 4 of those. And then number 8, Fran Strike, won last race at Gulfstream Park on an all-weather surface and earning the highest left speed rating doing it. The breeding suggests he'll like grass, and the dam has produced 1 turf winner.
So I look at this race, the pace setup, Terry. I don't see a lot of early speed in here with just a pair of traditional front runners, a stalker, a few pressures, a few chasers, and a trio of closers. I think if the fractions are right, the winner's likely to be near the front all the way around the track. Wicked Fast should be Wicked Fast, not too far from the front, and has the best late pace numbers in the field, and probably going to throw more in the second start after layoff. KC Chief. This is one of you. I'm surprised this horse wasn't on your list, Terry, because he can win from the front. And again, speed, I think, couldn't hold up here, but he also can win from way back. Last time out, he was 10 lengths back at the start and managed to come back and win. Number 8, Fran Strike, as you mentioned, ran the top last race speed figure in a sprint on the all-weather track. So that first time stretch out, did show some pretty good fractions last time out. And horses that usually go from sprint to route, if they're fast in the sprint, they tend to be a little bit faster in the route. Not that they're faster, but because they get out harder than horses that are used to running a mile. So he should be up near the front. And then finally, number 4, Ghost in You broke his maiden in his last race with the first-time Lasix. As good as trainer Joseph Safi Jr. is in South Florida, he wins at 27%, so 25 out of the last 94 times when the horses are getting a second dose of Lasix. That compares favorably to his overall win rate of 27%. So you get a little bit of alpha when Joseph Safi Jr. gives him a second shot of Lasix. Race number 3, back to 5.5 furlongs on the all-weather. This one is an allowance for 54,000 non-winners of 1, Terry. And again, just real quick recap: 5.5 furlongs, 48 races, 33 in the first 3 at the quarter-mile marker, 13 going wire to wire. If you wear an 8, you get a bonus. Otherwise, everything else plays pretty fair.
Yeah, well, I like number 6, Bonnie Not Beast, as my first pick. She won her debut race at Gulfstream Park and has jockey Irad Ortiz in the irons. Then I like number 2, Velshi Bella, won her debut race at Gulfstream Park on an all-weather surface, and she was really well bet that debut. And then number 5, David's Rose. She finished 3rd versus similar in the last race and has a high percentage trainer. Number 1, Amazing Trip, is my 4th pick. The trainer wins 30% of the time when going from dirt to all-weather surface. And the trainer-jockey combination in the last 14 days has been in the money 11 times out of 19 starts, winning 5 of those.
Before we go on to my picks, Terry, I want to say thanks to Jay Marco. Jay Marco, a couple things, man. You're the man for giving us the In the Winner's Circle, so we will never, ever, ever forget you for that. Ray Sturgeon, we're still going to head up to Calgary and have the Horse Racing Today race up at your farm there. And Jamie Martinez, thank you for all the goodwill of late. We wholeheartedly appreciate that. And like them, they've given us a like on Facebook. So if you like us, give us the thumbs up as well there. Same thing on YouTube. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button. And you're going to want to do that because tonight on our Horse Center show with Sean and I, we're going to have on jockey Devin. And I know we're going to screw up this name because he pronounces it in the Creole way, but I'm going to go with Manon. We'll see if I've got that right. He'll be on tonight. Apparently he's a got a strong personality, a guy that'll be fun to talk to, I'm sure. That'll be live tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you subscribe or you follow us on the scrolling social sites below on Horse Race Today, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, our Swiss Army, Sean, who does all the stuff behind the scenes, will notify you when we're about to go live. It should be a fun show. And if you have any questions for Devin, make sure you put them in the comments section. We put them all up there, unless some people ask some crazy things and we can't put them up there, Terry.
Yeah, it's true. Yep.
Race 3, Nick says Irad is on the 3, and that's the race that I have to finish up on, right, Terry?
That's correct.
All right, so let's look at race number 3 on Irad on the number 3 horse. I don't have the 3 horse, but Terry, neither one of us has the 3 horse. Why don't we have the 3 horse? But I'm looking at this 5.5 furlong race. He was my first pick out with Arrow Shape. It's I think this one could be a fast race, maybe too fast. The 6 of the 7 horses in this field, Terry, have won from the lead or within a neck or so of the lead. So that's their path to the winner's circle. Get up front. So it's going to be speed of the speed, the one that can discourage all the other horses, or some horses that have a little bit more late leg than the others. Number 4, Fire and Spice, is the lone closer in the field. The only question is he can't get too far behind. Did show some really nice improvement on the turn last time out with the pace numbers and in the stretch. So I like to see that late improvement, especially in a race where we'll be chasing probably a pretty hot pace. Number 6, Bunny the Beast, was a tough call over number 2, Veloce Bella. Both of them are interchangeable in my opinion. You got the Bunny the Beast ran some of the fastest quarter-mile fractions in his debut. Veloce Bella has the top early pace and late pace numbers in his debut. The maiden claiming 16, so that's one of the lower level maiden wins here. So that makes me a little bit concerned. That's why I ranked the 2 behind the 6. The number 1, Amazing Trip, won the debut and won the lone first race after some time off. So the horse does have some ability coming out of the barn, just like today, has some fast works getting ready, and should be close to the front all the way around the track, Terry.
That's right.
Race number 4 again, 4.5 furlongs, Terry. This one, as we mentioned, you want to be up front. There's not really much of a post position advantage, and it's 5.5 furlongs on the all weather, and it's also your box it up, Terry. Our box it up is 4 horses, $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box, and tell us why you like Old Town Road. Are you what's that guy's name? Little Nas? Are you a Little Nas fan?
No.
Do you know who that is or no?
No, I have no idea.
All right, anyway.
Okay. Well, I like number 1, Old Town Road, because this horse has won 4 out of 5 career races, including the last race at Gulfstream Park and at today's distance. Then I like number 2, Luca Go. Won his last 3 races in a row and has a good 3 furlong workout March 10th. And then number 5, Unsociable, won his last race at Gulfstream Park and received the highest last speed rating. His best all-weather speed is fastest among today's starters, and the jockey trainer combination has won 5 out of 19 starts. Then number 7, I'll Figure It Out. Maybe he will this time. He ran second versus Similar on the dirt in his last race and won the race before that.
All right, so that's Terry's box it up. 4 horses, $1 exacta box, 50-cent try, 10-cent superfecta box. I hit mine yesterday across the board, win, place, show, all of the above. Exacta, trifecta, superfecta, but that one horse it went from 5 to 2 to 1 to 5. It just absolutely killed the payouts. I mean, that's something you can't. I knew he would be the favorite, but I didn't think he'd go 1 to 5.
No, I didn't either.
For me in race number 4, this is my best bet. I'm Little Nas is Little Nas, but anyway, he's one of those guys, Terry, that goes out and tries to make do the outlandish and tries to become more outlandish to find more publicity. But in any case, this Old Town Road is my best bet, because this race is another one that has lots of speed and a bunch of chasers. So I think the chances are that the horse can come right close to the front of the pace. But I don't really know that the pace is going to make a difference, because it's all spread out in terms of how they're going to come out. So I really feel like this is the race where the best horse is going to win. And Old Town Road, I feel, is that horse, because it can win from the front, it can win from the back. And we call those Terry horses around here. Mm-hmm. And that last race was even better than it looked on the PPs, because he checked really hard at the start. So the win would have been easy without the early race troubles. Number 5, Unsociable, something that you and I have never been accused of, Terry. Got his maiden win in his last. We may be impolite sometimes, but Unsociable never. Yeah. Got his win got his maiden win in the second try with the top last race speed figure. As you know, Terry, the only way I like to take horses coming out of that maiden win is if they put that top last race speed figure in there. I think it's a pretty difficult call over number 2, Lusago, undefeated in 3 races on Gulfstream Park synthetic track. It's the first time off the claim for trainer Teresa Pompey. She's won 5 of 18 that way, which is a 28% win rate, versus winning at just 9% overall. So there's some serious alpha in there for all you financial market folks. And last time out, Lusago put some better numbers on the track in the later part of the race. Finally, number 4, Frolic Man, has the second best early pace, late pace combo in the field. Showed some nice improvement across the board last time out. 2 furlongs, 4 furlongs, late pace numbers, 4 consecutive speed figure increases. But the question is, how does Frolic Man handle the first time across the all-weather track? Race number 5 is the worst race of the day, Terry. Why is it the worst race of the day?
Because it's the killer race.
It's the race of death, not the
death.
killer.
Okay. I like to call it killer race. But anyway, it's the last leg of the pick 4, starting pick 4, and the first leg of the last pick 4.
Mm-hmm. And this one is 5 furlongs on the turf, made an optional claiming $50,000. So it's a little bit something different than we've seen so far. In 5 furlong turf races, they've run 49 of them. So this will be the 50th. I know we didn't come here for math today, but that's easy math. 33 were won by speed, 21 of which went wire to wire. You have a slight inside 3 bias to start the race of death, Terry. And this one is my box it up. So let me pull that up real quick, Terry. I was not even prepared to pull up my box it up until I looked over there and saw, hey, wait a minute, it's my turn. So my box it up, race number 5. I have Perfect Provision as my top choice because this race, it's kind of interesting because you have 3 first-time starters. And I think how they run out of the box is going to tip the balance as to what the race shape is going to look like. Because right now with the experienced horses, it's pretty evenly split between horses that get towards the front pressers and some closers amongst the experienced group. So how those first-time starters jump out will make a difference. Perfect Provision is the only Tom Carley drop in the field, and Tom Carley drop is the maiden special weight to maiden claiming. He's dropping from 60,000 to 43,000, and as we've learned, even from the handicapper who won the championship, David Harrison, the maiden special weight drop to the maiden claiming drop is the biggest drop in horse racing, and the horse is also making that drop, getting a dose of Lasix. Number 2, are girls worth it? We've asked this question the last 2 times the horse ran, Terry. I think the answer is unanimously yes. Third time off a layoff, some 4 furlong improvement last time out in her race. Does have the top early pace in the field and the top early pace late combination. Anna and Mia. This is a Wesley Ward horse. Wesley Ward on turf sprints is deadly in the race of death. He's sitting at 40% overall. Gets Irad here. Probably the best first-time starter in the field. Probably a danger to win this race, too. Maybe I wish I had it rated at the top when we go through our contest later on today. Finally, number 7, Devilly, is one of 2 closers in the field. And if the newbies help create a hot tempo, number 7, Devilly, would be the one who benefits the most, in my opinion. Terry, tell us who you like.
Well, I like number 5 as my first pick, Perfect Provision. She finished third versus similar in her last race, and they added Lasix this time. See if that would help a little bit. The trainer-jockey combination in the last 14 days, as I've said before, has really been doing well. 11 out of 19 races in the money. And then number 7, Devilly, ran second versus similar in her last race and got the highest last race speeding. Her best turf speed is fastest among today's starters. And this trainer-jockey combination in the last 14 days have won 3 out of 5 races. Number 2, Our Girl's Worth It. As you said, yes, she is. She finished 4th last race, but she was being bumped at the start, so that may have affected her run. She has a high percentage winning trainer. And then number 3, Anna and Mia. She is a first-time starter, and breeding suggests she will like the grass. The trainer in the last 14 days has had the record of 3 wins out of 4 starts.
Sorry, Nick says Irad is on the 3 in race number 4, which, of course, we don't have Irad in that one either. So he always has good days. So we'll probably regret not having Irad. That's for sure. As you mentioned, Terry, that is the race number 5 is the race of death. And that is the end of our hot dog pick 4. So we went with wrong one. I had a 50-50 chance of picking the right one, and I picked the wrong one, Terry. So our hot dog pick 4 starts in race number 2. Terry's making a stand. He's going to solo that one in race number 1 and then try to spread it out afterwards. I'm going to go the traditional 2 by 3 by 3 by 2. I do like the one horse to win that race number 2, but I feel like he's going to be a low-priced one as well. So got to toss another one in there that maybe can beat him, and then go 3 by 3 by 2 in the back end. Both of us, though, stayed under budget, spending $18.
Yeah, I did single that, and I don't like to really single in a pick 4, but I really felt that the rest of the races were really pretty wide open, especially the second and third legs. So I wanted to spread a little bit there. So
good. Hi, Therese. Good to see you again as well. Hopefully, we see a lot of these picks in the winner's circle, and everybody's got a good smile tomorrow when we come back Thursday for the for Fairgrounds for our man Jared Bush, who says he's been really hot there. So we're going to put him to the test tomorrow, Terry, and see how hot he really is. Right.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So race number 6 for me, Terry. No, that was race number 5, right? Because I did the box it up there.
Right.
Race number 6 is back to 5.5 furlongs. This one's an allowance 16,000. And again, just a quick recap: 5.5 furlongs, 48 races, 33 won by speed, 13 won wire to wire. Doesn't really matter which post position you get, but if you do manage to wear a number 8, you do get a little bit of a bonus. Terry decided to take that bonus with Pinot in a purse. Now
That's
try to
right.
say that 5 times real fast.
Pinot in a purse, Pinot in a purse, Pinot in a purse, Pinot in a purse, Pinot in a purse.
There you go.
All right. She comes in from Woodbine. And, I notice a lot of the horses coming from Woodbine do pretty well here. So, and she comes in after winning 3 races out of 8 starts there. So she's pretty consistent. Switches to a high percentage winning trainer and switches to a high percentage winning jockey. Number 1, my second pick, Be Naughty With Me. Won her.
Was that your line in the 70s, Terry, or what?
Yeah, that was a pretty good line I used. It was. I used to get a lot of slaps over that one. But anyway, won her debut race at Gulfstream Park on an all-weather surface and was well bet in that debut. And then number 5 is my third pick, She's All Woman. She ran second in her last race and got the highest last speed rating. And the trainer-jockey combination in the last 14 days has been in the money 6 out of 8 times, winning 50% of those races. Number 4, Gitana, has a high percentage winning trainer, drops in class today. Her trainer wins 27% of the time when he brings a horse back that's been off for 90 plus days. And her best dirt speed is the fastest among today's starters.
So this race going to have a lot of early pace in here, Terry. 7 of the 8 horses like to be on the lead or press the lead. So you're going to have to be fit, and you're going to be either the speed of the speed, or you better have some late kick if you're going to take this one home. Number 4, Gitana, has the top early pace figure, so that's the one I think will be out in the front. Also owns some of the better late pace numbers. Horse has been off since December, but since January 30th has put in 19 furlongs of good workouts, so I expect Gitana to come back to the track fit, firm, and fast. Number 5, She's All Woman, has the best late pace numbers in the field by a wide margin. It's the first off the claim and the second off the bench, so 2 reasons the horse should get a little bit better in here. Be Naughty With Me did win her debut, so she was well behaved in that one and was well bet. And I expect you'll see Be Naughty With Me improve in the second career start. Number 8, your top choice coming in from Woodbine is Pinot in a Purse. That is the lone closer in the field, and I do expect will benefit from a quick pace. Just think that maybe 5.5 furlongs, horse that gets to the front might be the one that you have to catch and run down, because Gitana has some of the best late pace numbers in the field as well. Race number 7, Terry, takes us to 7.5 furlongs. Optional claiming $75,000. Non-winners of 1 in a year. So at 7.5 furlongs, we have 15 races. It's been pretty close. Only 8 of the 15 were won by speed, so 7 were stalkers and closers. That's as close to 50-50 as you can get. Only 3 of the 15 went wire to wire. And it's some really quirky kind of post position stuff going on here, because 2, 3, and 8 plus all win at the same rate. And then the rail and 4 through 7 win at the same rate, but at a lesser rate than the first group we talked about. This is your best bet in here. Number 1, the Beech Nut Trophy. Why do you like Beech Nut Trophy?
Well, this female won her last race at Gulfstream Park and on the turf. And she has a high percentage winning trainer and switches to a high percentage winning jockey. They added Lasix, and she has a really good workout on March 12th. And then number 7, American Heroine, is my second pick. She won her last race at Gulfstream Park. She also has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and the trainer wins 25% of the time when he brings a horse and enters it from a route to a sprint. And then number 4 is my third pick, Running Legacy. Won her debut race at Gulfstream Park on an all-weather surface and was well bet in that debut. The breeding suggests that she'll like grass, and her dam has produced 4 turf winners. They added Lasix for today's race. And number 2, That Ain't Too Shabby. She has won 2 races in a row, which isn't too shabby, and now goes for her for a hat trick. She has a bullet workout on March 10th, 36 and change, breezing, best out of 13.
I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but it seems like every time I have a horse at top that you don't have, it either wins or finishes last. So there's no middle ground there. So I'm going for the win here today, Terry, on that one. Yeah. So looking at this pace, this race shape, this one should favor the front runners, because 5 of the 8 horses in this race are closers. 2 are pressers, and there's only 1 that's shown an interest in really taking charge. So I think the horses that are forwardly placed are going to get favorable fractions and have a shot to take them from wire to wire or from the second, maybe co-pilot to the win. Demo Gorgon chased a really fast pace last time out. Some really high variance in there, some big plus numbers. I don't think, as I mentioned, because of the race shape setup, I don't think he's going to see that sort of pace here. And I think the setup is going to be perfect for number 5, Demogorgon. Number 1, your best bet, my second choice, Beach Nut Trophy, which is this was interesting to me, but I stuck with the 5 anyway because Jose Ortiz gets off the 5 to ride the number 1 Beach Nut Trophy. Horse is getting his first time Lasix with the slight top early pace, late pace combination over the rest of the field. But I got a feeling this one's going to have to go from worst to first in what could be a disadvantageous, a pace that doesn't sit to disadvantageous pace. That's a long word when you're looking at it in paper. Number 3, Love Her Lots. Third start off the layoff, that classic handicapping angle. 3 consecutive speed figure increases, including some enhanced late pace performance in her first race on grass, which was her last effort. And then finally, number 7, American Heroine. It's $1 million horse, Terry. They spent a ton of money on this one. It ran well in its debut on turf at 7.5 furlongs on Gulfstream grass. Then it turned out and ran on the all-weather on a race that got rained out. So just missed on that one. I think this one's going to be forwardly placed and does have some late kick as well. That brings us to the last race of the day, the one that we have to bring home in order to hit the pick 4, Terry, and have a fantastic day. Race number 8 is back to where we started, 5.5 furlongs on the all-weather. This one's a maiden claiming $16,000. So get your long shots out. Get them ready, Terry, because every single time in these last legs, you see a shot just like yesterday at the 10 horse at Parks. You're looking through the past performances and you say, what in the world did anybody see in that horse? Well, they saw it in the winner's circle when it was all over.
That's right. Paid over $70. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I like the number 9 horse as my first pick. Fearless Girl. She finished in the money in her last 3 races, running second in her last race, earning the highest last race speed rating. I think this time she's going to break it through and get that win. Number 5, Dreaming of Audrey, ran second versus similar in her last race, and the trainer wins 25% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again. Her best all-weather speed is fastest among today's starters. And the trainer jockey in the last 14 days combination has won 2 out of 4, finishing the money 4 out of 4, so they're perfect for 4 races. Number 10, Soupster, she finished third versus similar in her last race. And then number 2, Lemonade Lady. She switches to a high percentage winning trainer, and the trainer wins 29% of the time after he claims a horse.
So this race, Terry, his field is mostly closers with some cheap early speed. A couple of chasers in here. I think it's going to set up nicely for a stalker, or maybe one of the cheap speed types can steal this one if they can control the tempo. I'm going to start with number 2, Lemonade Lady, your last selection there, because you did mention that one of the main reasons I'm looking at this horse. Joseph Saffie Jr., who does very well in South Florida at the Miami track at Gulfstream Park. He wins at 22% as it is. But first off the claim, as you mentioned, he's claimed 246 horses the next time out. So the first time off the claim, he won 74 of them, or 30%. So as strong as he is standing alone, even better off the claim. I like to see that angle. Number 5, Dreaming of Audrey. I expect to be better in the second start off a layoff. Was the favorite last time out. The trainer, Jose D'Angelo, has won 11 of the next time out with beaten favorites, 11 of 44 next time out with beaten favorites. Number 9, Fearless Girl, has the best late pace figures by a lot, and I mean a lot. So I just don't think that the pace here is going to be fast enough to take full advantage of her big advantage. And then finally, the number 10 horse possibility here today, Terry, from yesterday, the long shot that has a chance to bring it home, I think, is number 6, Sunday Suzanne. She is the only class dropper in this field, dropping from maiden optional claiming 40,000 to maiden claiming 16,000. And if you look at, there was a horse in here that made that same exact drop a couple of races back, and it went from being like not even involved. Yeah, race number 7, horse number 7, Black Swan, made that same drop, went from 6th by 8.25 to 2nd by 1. So I think you'll see much improvement out of number 6, the Sunday Susan horse, and will run better than 20-1 for jockey Lionel Reyes. All right, so let's take a look then at our I've been preoccupied with March Madness brackets. Yeah, I didn't handicap today golf, but I have a tomorrow card since I'm playing golf at Fairgrounds in Oaklawn. My son, Jared, put together a incredible Excel spreadsheet. He's really good with numbers and math. He's one of those kids that, like, when I have to give him tons of credit. I don't know where you're going, Terry, but my son, you know how when you were in math class, Terry, and you didn't write out the steps, the teachers would always give you a hard time?
Yeah. I always could get the answer, but I never showed how. And then they would always tell me, "Well, you're going to get a bad grade because you didn't show how." And I'd say, "Well, if I have the right answer, what does it matter how I got it?"
So my son, he would do the same thing, had the same story. And then I'll send it to you, Jared. So my son, he was the same story, but what my son would tell the teacher, not only could he figure it out in his head, but he would tell them, the way you're doing it is wrong. It's much easier to do it like this.
Yeah.
So he's one of those kids that has like that math savant mind that he can just figure out all that crap in his head. And it's just, and then like other things that are like just really basic common sense. Sometimes you're like, dude, why can't you figure that out?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll email it to you. I will. And if anybody else, I'll email you the Excel sheet. I didn't see his bracket, so you can use the Excel sheet then to make your own brackets. It's really kind of interesting what he did. And if anybody else is interested in it, just go ahead and send it to email to me to gtsrichb@gmail.com, and I will get it out to you. I used KenPom. He did something completely different over KenPom. So I used that KenPom on mine, where I put them in and see which one would win, putting the spread at 0. And that's how I did mine. So it came out pretty similarly to his, but he did something completely different. All right. So in any case, Terry, let's go ahead and look at our final prime rib pick 4 of the day. We both spent $90, but our tickets are upside down. You went 5-4-3-3. I went 3-3-4-5.
That's right. Yeah, I feel like that first leg's pretty wide open. I like to try to get through that first leg. So many times I don't, and then I end up getting the next 3. So I went with the 5, 7, 2, 3, and 10. Second leg, I went with the 8, 1, 5, and 4. Then in the 7th race, which is my best bet of the day, I went with the 1, 4, and 7. And then the 9th race, the 9, 5, and 10. If I had a little more money, I would have added more in that 9th or 8th race.
For me, I felt like the first 2 races, for me, usually what happens is I'll either lose on the first one, no matter how many horses I have.
Yeah.
Or I'll lose on the last one. So, and it'll be always the horse I wanted to add at the very end of the last one that beats me. So I wanted to make sure that didn't happen today. So I do feel like the early races are the ones where I had the most personal clarity when I was looking at them. As far as my final 4 is concerned, Jared, I don't know who everybody else has, but I have Gonzaga, which seems to always disappoint in the final, but maybe they're due finally. I have Arizona on the other side, playing Gonzaga in the finals. Down in the bottom, I think in the left-hand corner, I had Purdue. And over on the right side, I put in Auburn. That was my final 4. We'll see how it plays out. I'm in some really giant pools, so you got to have some kind of different things. Otherwise, you're going to be like, if you pick Gonzaga, which I did in the bigger pool, then you're going to have all those little other things along the way. All right, real quick, here are all our picks again, Terry. Terry's best bets race number 7. Mine is race number 4. Both of them, coincidentally, are number 1s. Our box it ups. Terry's race 4. I'm race 5. $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box. 4 horses. Hot dog pick 4 starting in race number 2. And our prime rib pick 4s starting in race number 5, Terry. And if you happen to win one of those using our plays today, support the show if you'd be so kind by heading on over to horseracingtoday.net. Hit on Horse Racing Today gear. This one showed up in my mailbox yesterday, Terry, and it looks, I mean, when I look at them, I really do like them. And I'm not saying that to be I don't know what you want to say, like salesman-y, but I really do like the way they look.
Yeah, they're nice. I've got some more coming. I just got an email that they've been shipped, so I should see them in the next day or two. So,
So you should see them on. But I'm waiting to get a little bit of tan before I stick the yellow on, Terry. We're supposed to be 70 degrees today, so maybe tomorrow I'll be sporting the yellow and a red.
All right.
You got I have them I have them going pretty far too, Louisiana, LSU. All right, Terry, tomorrow you and I will be back to discuss fairgrounds with Jared Bush. Hopefully he's not going to get tied up with any kind of work-related stuff tomorrow. Looking forward to his picks. Of course, we're always looking forward to your input. Thank you for the comments. We appreciate that. Again, we do thank you for the thumbs up. Want to say thank you, Philip Perkins, as well, for liking us on Facebook. We appreciate that. Any final thoughts, Terry, before we get up and out of here today?
Well, I was wondering, how's the free picks at GTS look today?
All right. So today, good question. I almost forgot. Today, Louisiana Downs is the free track. So if you're going to do anything at Louisiana Downs, go over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Just hit that LA Downs button for free. You'll get the picks for free. Yesterday was Sunland Park, Terry.
Yeah.
And we had about, was it okay day? Using our top four selections, a possibility of $1,146.80 in payouts. But in race number 7, we had a nice $265 trifecta using just the top 4 picks.
Yeah.
And overall, at Guaranteed Tip Sheet yesterday, 76% of our best bets ended up finishing in the money. So that's a pretty good number.
One of the things I really like about GTS is that they also handicap the quarter horses, which a lot of places don't do that. So anyway, if you like what you saw today, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter at Horse Race the number 2 day, like us on Facebook at Horse Race the number 2 day, and follow us on Instagram at Horse Day Race number 2 day.
Absolutely. And tell your friends about us. We appreciate that. Hopefully, Terry, it's hump day. As I started at the beginning of the show, I will say at the end of the show, I hope that every single thing that you do today, be it fill out your brackets for tomorrow's NCAA tournament, be it your horse racing picks or just your J in general, end up in our good friend, Jay Marco's
Winner's Circle.
Absolutely. Have a fantastic hump day, everybody. Again, if you're interested in seeing my son's Excel sheet for the college basketball tournament, email me at gtsrichb@gmail.com and I will get it out to you. Have a fantastic Wednesday, everybody.